Hello, welcome to another exciting edition of Around the World in 6 Seconds. My name is Patrick Monishaw. First up, let me take you to Greece where woman sneezes out live worms. A 58-year-old woman living on the Greek island tending to her sheep. One of those days while tending to her sheep, had flies swarm over her face. She took it lightly, only for her to start having certain symptoms a few weeks down the line. Symptoms like facial pain, severe cough, and then it graduated to her sneezing. From sneezing out stuff to sneezing out live worms. I'm saying live worms, worms moving, big worms coming from her nose, coming from her mouth. It got serious. Luckily for her, she was rushed to the hospital where the doctors diagnosed her and they discovered that she had the sheep-butt fly. That was what she got infected with, the sheep-butt fly. And what happens is, if you're being infested with the sheep-butt fly, these are some of the symptoms you have, and eventually you'll be sneezing out worms, live worms. I wonder what it will feel like, for her, and the pain, the trauma, the disgust, seeing worms coming out from your nose, your mouth. But luckily for her, they were surgically removed and she's on her way to recovery. If you start having, facial pains, severe cough, rush to the hospital. You never can tell before you start sneezing out worms. Rush to the hospital. You thank us. Also, let me take you to Russia where we have frogs for milk preservation. Let me ask you a question, Before the advent of the invention of fridges and freezers, how do you think they preserve milk? Milk doesn't stay for long before getting bad. How do they preserve it? Let me tell you how. That's why I'm here. I'll tell you how. Before the invention of fridges and freezers, what they do is, they toss live frogs into buckets of milk. Live frogs, you just toss them into the bucket of milk and leave them there. The milk will remain forever fresh. No jokes here. The milk, just throw live frogs into a bucket containing milk or a cup containing milk. Your milk will remain fresh. You doubt me? Now let me tell you, scientifically, frog skin releases peptides with strong antibacterial properties. And these antibacterial properties, they act as natural preservatives. So all you need to do, if you stay in a region where you're having shaky power supply, or maybe you don't have a fridge or a freezer you have, and you want to preserve your milk, just look for frogs, live frogs. Throw them into your milk. Relax. As long as those frogs are inside our milk, I tell you, your milk will never get bad, because the skin of these frogs will be releasing these peptides, and your milk will be fresh. And guess what? This is harmless. It is harmless. Frogs in your milk is harmless. Maybe they just, did their saliva and all that. That just spicy your milk, but it is harmless. It's better than having sour milk. So if you have milk and you're looking for a way to preserve it, look for frogs, grab them and keep your milk fresh. Also, let me take you to Australia where a woman was diagnosed with python parasite in her brain. You go ask, you go ask yourself, how python parasite used enter woman's brain? Python parasite. Now let me tell you, a 64-year-old woman, she was having lung issues, organ issues, fatigue, forgetfulness. For years, she ignored these things, she took it up. Maybe it's one of those things, how people feel. Let me just, up until the situation got out of hand, and she was rushed to the hospital. To shock you what the doctors discovered. They discovered, an 8-centimeter live worm python parasite in her brain. You know what 8 centimeters is? That's over 3 inches long. Live python parasite. Worm python parasite, live, over 3 inches long. Eating on her brain. The dura matter, the gray matter, everything eating and getting fat. When they eating on food, when they go chop brain, when they go fat. And that's how the worm parasite, the python parasite, was just getting fat inside the woman's brain. I keep saying it, when you have all the symptoms, do not hesitate. Rush to the nearest health facility and report. You see, for years, forgetfulness, lung issues, organ issues, only for her to, thank God, it's been, she's on her way to recovery right now. And this worm python parasite is not common. It is common among people get it from contaminated materials and eating damp or contaminated food and all that. But it grows and it attacks every part of the body. So be careful what you eat. 8 centimeters. Be careful what you eat. Also, I'll take you to the USA, El Salvador, precisely, where we have a flesh-eating screwworm parasite outbreak. Read the alarm, I'll say it again. We have a flesh-eating screwworm parasite outbreak in El Salvador, the USA. The new world screwworm fly lays eggs on open womb. This screwworm parasite, let me tell you how it comes. It comes about from the new world screwworm flies. It lays its eggs on any open surface, wounds or anything, and these maggots, they burrow into the flesh. They don't need a crack, they just tear into it, they eat it live, causing what is known as myiasis. Primarily, this myiasis is common among livestock and all that, but it graduates and is transferred to humans when they come in contact with this livestock. It's common among livestock, but it graduates to humans. And it was first discovered, the first case was discovered in a traveler that was traveling from El Salvador. That's the first human case known. But guess what? This larva, it has no joy at all. It tears into the flesh like this. Vampire mode, eating any flesh until it gets to organs. So be careful. If you are in El Salvador, you're taking it right here. We are the ones giving you the first information. Be careful. Watch out. Thank God for the man. Come on now, it's the USA we're talking about. He was rushed to the clinic and this screwworm has been surgically removed. Be careful. Even if you're not in El Salvador, wherever you are, watch your back. Let me take you to China, where we have tapeworm larva in human tissue. Tapeworm larva in human tissue. Vegetarians, vegans, I like it raw. I like it. I like raw. I like raw food. Be careful. See, let me say this. We have what they call spaganosis, and it comes from ingesting undercooked frog meat, snake meat, or contaminated water. I'll tell you, spaganosis comes from you ingesting undercooked frog meat, snake meat, or contaminated water. And this larva, this spagana, can migrate to any part of the body, the eye, the nose. It will migrate there and relax. And it can grow to over 30 centimeters long in the host body. So you see why you need to be careful. I like my food half cooked. I see some people, they want to half cooked. Be careful. There's a tapeworm larva outbreak out there, and this larva might live in the body of the host for years, causing damage on a regular. Some of the symptoms you feel, in case it has happened or you see it happening to somebody, these are some of the symptoms you see. First, the patient will feel movement. Just they do as if your body they sweet you. Movement, sweetie. These are symptoms. Movement, tiredness. These are some of the symptoms. If you see symptoms like this, rush such a person to the hospital. Rush the person. No delay whatsoever. Rush them, you will thank me. Also, let me take you to Egypt where we have, hey. Do you know what they call a mummy? I'm not saying mummy, I mean a mummy. Do you know what they call a mummy? In Egypt, we have powdered Egyptian mummies as herbal remedy. Powdered Egyptian mummy. Now let me say this. In ancient times, and also not too far away, they package, mummies are dead people that they embalm. That's what they call mummies. People that, dead bodies they embalm in tombs or coffin. Those are mummies. So what they do is, years ago, and they still practice it in certain parts of Egypt and Europe even, they burn these mummies, and then they have the ashes and they sell it as powder. This is what they do. This salt powder they use for wounds, for fever, and they believe when you ingest this powder from mummies, it gives you this life force, and this life force helps in stopping bleeding, headaches, epilepsy, and so on. There was a time it was widespread. In fact, in every pharmacy you'll be seeing them having powder. These are mummy powders. They call this powder. They call this mumia. The powders from dead bodies. It was everywhere. Up until some people say, I don't even want the powder, give me the flesh. They started saying, some people want to eat the flesh, they want to get the life force directly. Their government rush, the government banned it because people were not having, some people were going the extra mile trying to eat mummified bodies. Some people were now digging graves, dead bodies started to miss everywhere. That's why the government rushed in. But as I speak to you, recent studies have shown that we are having some of these practices. If you want to bury your dead body, bury your dead body deep down. But somebody think I'm saying want to do mumia. So many amazing stories, so many amazing things, crazy things happening around the world. But for time's sake, we'll stop here today until I come your way again next week for another amazing, mind-blowing edition of Around the World in 60 Seconds. Stay blessed. My name is Patrick Monishaw. I'll see you on the next one.
Hello, my name is Patrick Monashore, and I'm about to take you around the world in 60 seconds. Real stories, unbelievable people, and strange things that'll blow your mind. Sit back, relax, and let's ride.